Hey everyone, I'm glad you could join us for our New Year's episode on Foodie Gourmets. We are going to be doing a special kind of eggnog, and I think you're going to like it. We are ready to get started on our special holiday eggnog. Now, some people put alcohol in their eggnog, some people don't. Of course, you know me by now, we're gonna put something special in our eggnog. What I discovered this year is this wonderful stuff called honey whiskey. There's a bunch of different brands of this out there, and it's somewhere between real whiskey and a cordial like an amaretto. It's a great mixer. I've probably mixed this with about 10 different things. There is nothing that I haven't tried this with that's been that hasn't been just awesome. So I figured, hey, why not New Year's? So we are going to do a special honey whiskey eggnog. This is actually a pretty easy eggnog. It's basically a custard. We've got eggs, milk, sugar. We're going to cook that down just a little bit just to get it to thicken up. And then once it's thickened, we're going to take it off the heat. We're going to mix in our honey whiskey, a little vanilla. We're going to chill it, and then we're just going to finish it up, pour it in a glass, and we're going to enjoy it. So let's get started. Let's get our pan started here. We're probably going to put this not quite on medium because we don't want to scorch this. It does have a lot of egg, a lot of sugar. Well, not a lot of sugar, because one thing, if you use honey whiskey or a cordial like that, you could even use amaretto like I was saying, that does tend to have a lot of sugar to it. So I've actually cut down what you might see in most recipes. My sugar is cut down a little bit. You see the recipe online. Got our milk. If you must know, this is skim milk. Try to balance out that heavy cream we're going to use later. I've got 8 large eggs. Make a little bit of a mess here. And actually, before I put my sugar in, I'm going to go ahead and get this whisked just a little bit. Break these eggs up. If you want to do this, you can do this. If you want to make a mess, you can make a mess like I just did. That's why we have production assistants here on Foodie Gourmets to help us keep clean and sanitary. Now, you might be tempted to turn the heat up on this and really rush this because you're in a hurry to try it, but trust me, just keep the heat medium low. Let it go just for a proper amount of time, because we do want this to naturally thicken. Don't boil it again, just get it warm. And where we're going to take it off the heat is when we take a spoon, do the spoon test, put it in there, and when it coats the back of the spoon, we know we can take it off the heat. Keep whisking here to get this nice and smooth. The other thing you might be wondering is why don't we just go ahead and put in our whiskey or whatever liqueur we're going to use and our vanilla and just put it all in at once. But the problem with that is, as it sits here on the stove for a while, it's actually going to cook off some of that good flavor. So we're just going to wait on that till we take it off the heat. Make sure you get your corners. Anybody that's worked in a bake shop or made pastry cream, you know this motion. And let's grab our sugar. You don't have to wait for the holidays to have eggnog, and you certainly don't have to go to the store and buy it all the time, because what's nice about this is we can control the amount of sugar we use. If we wanted to use half and half instead of heavy cream later when we finish this, after it cools off, we could do that. We could put alcohol in it. We could not put alcohol in it. It's all up to you, and it gives you the flexibility to do whatever you'd like. Now, we did see that this does have eggs in it, but because we are cooking this a little bit, we don't have to worry about any of those nasty bugs that some people are sometimes worried about. If you remember from Christmas, I don't have a problem with raw eggs in my cake batter or anything else I'm tasting. So now that this is nice and smooth, we're just going to keep an eye on this for about 10 minutes. And again, get a spoon in there. When it coats the back of the spoon, we know it's ready and we can move on. All right, magical time lapse on the internet here on Foodie Gourmets. It's been about 10 minutes with our eggnog. Give it just one more little stir here. You can see visually it's pretty thick here. Actually, I'm gonna turn this off. Make sure we don't overcook it. Again, you do not want to boil this. Get this out of the way. And here, the magic spoon test. Take a look at that. Oh, that's nice and thick. See how it's kind of dripping off in streams there, and so we are good to go. And as I said, we're gonna put this in an ice bath. One thing we're gonna do is, if you've ever had like scrambled eggs, like everyone has, it's got that kind of thing in the egg that sometimes it's kind of like stringy and it's not real appetizing. Well, what are we doing with this? We're making something we want to drink. So instead of just dumping this straight into an ice bath and going on, I've set up a little sieve here. You've seen this before. And we're going to help strain out any of that egg protein that's left in there. So we're just going to do that. You can see actually some of my egg curdled there. Not real appetizing, but because I was probably not stirring this and whisking it as much as I should have, but we're definitely getting that out of there. We wouldn't want that in our drink, so we're just gonna do that, get this out of the way. Put this back over here on the stove. And grab my spoon here. But here, I'm gonna just stir this a little bit. I've got cold water and ice on the side here. We're just gonna let this start to cool off a little bit. And what's nice is by using that sieve, we've taken out all those little lumps, and this is gonna have a real nice mouthfeel to it. Put enough alcohol in it, you're not gonna worry about the mouthfeel, but we're trying to do it right here. Now, one thing I do wanna mention is if you're real concerned about eggs and things and kind of raw eggs, you can see this was pretty hot. You could actually put a thermometer in here and check it and make sure you get it to the exact right temperature to kill anything, to make those eggs perfectly safe, or you could even use pasteurized eggs. If you're gonna have raw eggs, anything, like sometimes Caesar dressings have egg in them. If you use a pasteurized egg product, you don't have to worry about it at all. All right, so we're gonna put in our magical honey whiskey. A little bit for me. Again, you can go plus or minus on the alcohol here to taste. And we are gonna add some vanilla. You could even do, if we were doing amaretto, we might use like almond extract just to kick it up a little bit. The honey whiskey, as I said, is got some really great flavor to it. So I think this is gonna be a really nice eggnog when we're all set. See how this is continuing to thicken as it cools off. And remember, we're not done with this. We're actually going to, after this chills for a while, we're gonna fold in some whipped cream, some heavy whipped cream, and make it nice and thick. But once this is all stirred together, we're gonna put it in the fridge and we're gonna let it sit. You can easily let it go overnight. We're gonna probably give it about 4 hours before we come back in and put in our whipped cream. So, see you in a minute. All right, hey folks, welcome back. We have got our eggnog almost ready to go. This has been in the fridge for several hours, gotten nice and chilled, nice and cold. So we need to whip our cream, whip our whipping cream. Hey, look, I have a hand mixer. I promised you I would show you that we owned a hand mixer here, because a lot of people don't have those stand mixers. So we're gonna whip the cream with this. We're gonna fold it in, garnish it with a little cinnamon, a little of our favorite little nutmeg, and then we're gonna pour it in a glass and see how it tastes. All right, we need 1.5 cups of whipping cream. Recipe online, of course. And just to throw you, I have a 3/4 cup measuring cup. So you're gonna go, wait a minute, how is 2 1.5 cups? Alrighty, set that to the side, get these out of your way. See if we can get these to a nice soft peak. So that's pretty thick. It's not to a soft peak yet. So we'll give this just a little bit longer. And even though we've had the magic of time-lapse video photography, you can see the appeal of having a stand mixer now, because this is actually taking a little bit of time. So back to it. Just barely below soft peak. I'm gonna have my eggnog just a little bit looser. I don't want this to be a big frothy, foamy drink that's gonna leave me with a big mustache, because I already have one of those, so don't need one. We'll go ahead and see if we can pop these out. There we go. If this was cake batter, be eating that, but we won't worry about that. We'll just make a big mess here for everybody. All right, I did put some plastic wrap over our eggnog just to keep this from doing anything funny while it was cooling off. And I'm going to, big nice flat spatula here. I'm gonna go ahead and fold in our whipped cream. For something like an eggnog, I think it would be better to be a little bit under whipped than over whipped, because as you may remember, if we go too far on our whipped cream, we're gonna have butter. While butter is a tasty treat, I'm not sure it would be good in our eggnog. So I'm just gonna very gently fold this together. Folding together. It's actually nice and thick. It smells great. And I did sneak a taste of this earlier before we started mixing in our whipped cream, and the honey whiskey is not overpowering. So that's, you know, unless you got a bunch of people that really want to tie one on New Year's, you know, something a little bit subtle. It's got a lot of flavor to it. Doesn't need to have a ton of alcohol. Might help, but you don't need a ton. So, you know, the color's evened out now. You know, before it was kind of dark on the bottom as I was folding it together, and now it's pretty much one color. Got a little bit of the foam on top is all. So now we're gonna season this just a little bit more. We're gonna put in a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of nutmeg. You know, cinnamon, our friendly stuff here, just in a nice little container. This is to taste, so I'm not even really measuring. I'm probably, if I had to guess, about maybe about a teaspoon. You could even garnish the individual glasses if you wanted to, but I'm gonna put this in here and stir it up a little bit more. Love the smell of cinnamon. We've got our little nutmeg in our little nutmeg house. Be careful with nutmeg because it's very strong, so I'm not gonna go crazy with this. And let's give this another stir. You can see the nice color, the contrast between the brown of the cinnamon and nutmeg and the creaminess of the eggnog. That's another reason why you could even garnish individual glasses with this. It would look really nice. Not that it doesn't look nice now. What's nice about doing this at home, again, like we were saying earlier, you can put whatever kind of alcohol you want in this. You could use amaretto, you could use no alcohol at all. You can make this ahead of time, so when you take this to a party, or if you're having people over for New Year's, you don't have to worry about this. This is something you can put straight in the fridge, do it the day before. It's gonna thicken up, it's gonna be really nice. So, I think ours is all set here. We're going to, got one of our nice little festive glasses here. What's nice about this is with that whipped cream in there, this is nice and airy. It's actually light. It's lighter than it really looks. If you've ever had that store-bought eggnog, it's just so thick and so rich and so much sugar. I mean, you can have, what, maybe half a cup of that and you're just, oh, I can't drink anymore. But this smells great. Nice fresh product. We don't have a lot of chemicals. There's no preservatives in this. We just made this right here. What we have? Milk, eggs, sugar, honey whiskey. Good stuff. Go try it. Cinnamon, nutmeg. Fold it in our whipped cream. Again, nice and light. It's almost like if you ever melt ice cream and you have that custard that's kind of like room temperature and really good. This is kind of like that, but more of a holiday spirit. So hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you have a happy new year, and we'll see you in 2012 on Foodie Gourmets.